Hello, everybody. It's that time again. We are in day 3 of the round of 8. It's a ZVZ, and helping me with the cast again is our resident Zerg expert, Eonzerg. What's up, man?
What's up, Nyoken? What's up, everyone? Glad to be here, man, and just super excited about this series, to be honest.
Yeah, Jaedong, a fan favorite. Have high hopes for him, man. I know people around the world are rooting for him, but he's got a tough opponent, Hero, who has done well in recent ASL. He's gotten multiple top 4 finishes. His ZVZ is actually really impeccable. I remember him taking down a lot of top Zergs to get into those 3rd and 4th place finishes. So this, I think, is going to be really, really tough for Jaedong if he wants to make it to the semifinals.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like Hero CBC is rock solid, and he is someone that put a lot of effort into his build orders compared to the other players. He is a bit more specific with timings, and he's always the guy that tries to exploit that area of the CBC. So it's going to be interesting because it's aggression against a rock solid CBC player.
Yeah, and we're getting a look at how our round of 8 has gone. Of course, we've got a Terran versus Protoss in the top side. Best played absolutely crazy versus Action, had stellar defense, and then meanwhile, Mind ended up taking down Queen. That was an epic TVZ. If you are a Terran fan, I definitely recommend that series. And then at the bottom side, we've got our ZVZ today, and then our final match of the round of 8 is going to be another Terran versus Zerg versus Soulkey.
Yeah, JYJ against Sulking, that is promising as well.
Yeah, just like Mind, JYJ played absolutely crazy in the earlier stages of the ASL. He also ended up taking down Queen, and he looks really damn good in Terran versus Zerg. And you know, going into this season, I had high expectations for his Terran versus Protoss, but I didn't know his TVZ was as good as it was. And actually, I was watching Gypsy stream, and he was saying JYJ's like comparable in skill to Rush and Royal, and we saw Royal take down ASL last season. We saw Rush go really far in the past couple seasons. So, you know, maybe JYJ's the new Terran Hope in 2023.
Oh.
But either way, it's still going to be hard.
I mean, yeah, but no, I will not go as far as that. But I mean, he's still in the game, so whatever result he will make will decide sadly that kind of testament, to be honest. But yeah, so far in my opinion, JYJ is doing a great ASL.
Yeah, he's definitely exceeded my expectations, and I think if he makes it to the round of 4, that would be his highest placing finish in every ASL he's played in. Getting a look at the highlights here. Of course, we're going to be going into interviews with the players in just a second. I was looking at Liquipedia. They have a feature where you can check the opposing, or you can check the stats between 2 players. So I'm looking at it right now. Jaedong versus Hero. I feel like I'm not using it correctly, but in the past, going all the way back to 2009, actually Jaedong's undefeated versus Hero. That's crazy, but I think because there's a lack of games between 2018 and 2023, I think you take that with a grain of salt. I wish
I saw someone on Lukáš mentioning the Hero is like with a winner record against Jaedong. Yeah, I don't remember if this month or the last one or this year. I don't remember exactly, but Hero has a winning record against Jaedong.
Yeah, I'm actually going to load up Spawnbong to check that out. That sounds accurate because of just how beastly Hero has been in the past few years.
So Hero against Jaedong this year is Jaedong 8, Hero 13.
Okay, well, I mean, that's still pretty close. That's what, like 60-40, something around there. I would say that's not lopsided.
No, I don't think it speaks volumes to be honest. It's probably also one game at the time, you know, on Pro League. I don't think it's, or maybe they play sponsor games. I don't know, but I don't think it really speaks too much about. I mean, this series is going to be fire because Jaedong is just like so good at CBC. This guy, compared to any other player, this guy is the most talented player when it comes to chaotic situations. And CBC is full of chaos. I can't think a better player than him that thrive like under this chaos that is CBC. So yeah, like it's going to be honestly, even if Hero is like the favorite here, because it's like way more better CBC player in this new era of StarCraft. In my opinion, Jaedong, just like his presence is just like is a big factor for any other player.
Yeah, I like what you said about him thriving in the chaos, because every time you see his face, whether it was from games in Pro League, you know, years ago, or currently playing in ASL, there's never a moment where it seems like he's worried. He seems very calm. Well, sometimes he seems calm. Sometimes he seems like he's going to actually just get out the booth and come and kill you because he looks so serious. But yeah, I think if you were to pick one Zerg player that you want in a ZVZ, I think it's got to be Jaedong. There's a reason it was called JVZ for so many years in the past.
I'm pretty sure this guy actually changed CBC from where it was. Like it was a matchup where you accumulate mutalies and scores to be something more precise with timings.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, actually we're seeing not necessarily completely different, but there are more Zerg versus Zerg these days that actually get into Spore Colony. Do you think Jaedong is someone that will try and be aggressive in the modern era, or is he someone that will use spores these days, or he'll mix it up sometimes depending on the map?
I don't know, I think it's going to be depending on the build order. If his opening is doing a 9 pull, and he's doing like a 12 pull, or even like a 12 hash, and he survived that, spores is a must. Like he need to build that. There are other cases where opening is also doing overgas, and spore is also needed. And then there are maps like Nemesis that it open to some interesting options where you can do a 9 pull and then transfer a drone and take a top mid expansion, and you know, like sneak an early expansion like that and do the play style that is very sneaky. So situations like that actually opens room to have sports in the game, but it's all about build order, to be honest.
Yeah, I do know ZVZ is really about build orders in the early stages of the game. I do hope we get to Nemesis, because we already had a great game of Jaedong on that map. It was versus Shine, if I remember correctly. You remember that, where somebody took mid left? We had top left versus bottom left, and it ended up going like 20 minutes, like a super long game.
Yeah. I will say it was not best Jaedong game. I feel like but that was a call to wake up, and he played a great series that day.
Yeah, he did. And Nemesis has delivered very good games the entire season. So I hope we get there. We did get a look at the stats of Jaedong just a moment ago. I just saw Action and Shine stats. Looking at hero stats here, all the way back to Season 4, he took down Sulky, then took down Larva, then lost to Larva 4-0, then took down 0, then took down 0 again, and then actually lost to Sulky last season in the 3rd and 4th place. So overall, Hero's pretty damn beast mode versus Zerg, taking down all of the Zerg's superstars. But I don't see any Jaedong games there.
He doesn't play any CBC? No, he didn't play against Hero on the ASL.
Yeah, he hasn't played versus Hero in the ASL. This will be the first time that they've played in the ASL at all.
That's interesting. They never play on a flying stage then. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you would expect after 15 seasons they would have at least played once, but does not seem to be the case. I mean, it may just be that they're taking best of X series, like best of 3 or best of 5, and not really counting like group stage where they may have had just the best of 1. But yeah, according to those stats right there, there were no matches between each other. We're getting a look at the stats for Jaedong, even though he was a Zerg hero in Zerg versus Zerg in years past. His Zerg win rate is actually his lowest right now.
Oh my god. Okay, this is some interesting stats, to be honest. To be honest, it could be just a bad day, or it could be a bad series. No. I was thinking about Hero. Hero is kind of like what Bisu is. Like, he's a guy with a great CVP, a great CVC, and then no so great CVT. And Bisu is a bit like that. It's like a great PVC, also a great PvP, and then PvT. He's not as good as his other matchups.
Yeah, in previous ASLs, I was thinking the same thing. Is when I do see Hero, he seems to lack in Zerg versus Terran, but in the past few seasons, he has really delivered versus Terran. And in the current era where we're seeing the Hydra Lurker play, when I was in ByClan, I actually played versus Hero, and even back then, he was playing Hydra Lurkers. So I feel like if there's an era that Hero's going to thrive in versus Terran, today's the era, because he's just so good with Hydras. He's been doing them for so long. But yeah, in ZVZ, he's an absolute menace. I think in that profile stat that we saw, his actual best matchup, like you said, is versus Protoss. But basically 50% and above win rate across the board. That's top tier. Those are the types of stats that you see from champions, and maybe this could finally be the season for him.
Yeah, if he actually advanced today, that is going to be really interesting, because if Sulky wins, then Sulky is going to have like a hard time, because if you compare Hero CBC and Sulky CBC, Hero is way better.
Way better, man. Even Queen doesn't like Sulky ZVZ, but every time I've seen him in ASL, he's putting wins on the board. It's not like he's getting blown out. And if I remember correctly from the stat we just saw, the last series actually Sulky beat Hero 3-2. So that would be a cool rematch. We're getting into our first game of the day, though. It of course is Jaedong versus Hero, and I think it's on Sylphid. In the bottom right, you could hear it from the fan response, the fan favorite. It is Jaedong. And in the bottom left, our white Zerg, it is Hero.
And we already see that both players are scouting to a different location. They are not going to scout each other.
Yeah, interesting that both players end up going to top middle, and that will give us the scenario where neither player are going to scout first, and neither player will be aware of what initial openers are. Curious if anybody will sneak in an extra drone. As you stated, ZVZ comes down to initial build orders. What do you think we're going to see? We see like a 9 pool. We're going to see, gas first, overpool.
Honestly, I think we're going to see maybe Oh wait, Hero is already going 9 pool, but Jaedong is doing Overlord.
Yep, Overlord for Jaedong, and there is the 9 pool, like you said. So as long as this is not a 12 hatch, okay, which it is not.
Oh, this is already interesting. Overgas for Jaedong. If you ask me, we already have like a good build order for Jaedong.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that this build was great versus 9 pool, and what's the reason for it? Like, why is this so punishing versus 9 pool?
It's more gas. You never take out drones from gas, compared to the 9 pool. It's also the hatchery, the second hatchery. You have way more advantages. Overall, it's more eco, but at the same time is the 9 pool, pretty much.
Alright, well there is the 9 pool completing, so the Ling's going to be coming out, and the pool is not that far behind for Jaedong, maybe like 20 seconds or so. So no way for these Lings to really get any damage done. And I think Hero, I was going to say I think Hero actually skipped speed, but that's not the case. We haven't even reached 100 gas just yet. So let's see if he will go speed or will go lair. And it is going to be lair.
Oh, actually good choice for Hero here. Like lair is going to be similar.
Yeah, looking at the lair timing for Jaedong, like you said, it's similar, like was instantly built as soon as that pool completed. But we do have the Lings moving across and the Overlord intercepted. So already Jaedong knows that this was a 9 pool. And Hero is going to be the one that's going to get greedy here. He sneaks in an extra drone, and we will have that Ling wall set up at the entrance here with the concave.
Yeah, more seconds for Jaedong. He's probably like totally safe here. There is not really a way to break this without having major losses. Here you see the second hatchery already for Jaedong and more drones. So far it's like a really good start for Jaedong.
Yeah, so we talked about the advantage that Jaedong has. How does Hero get back into this game? What's his win condition here? Because I see the hatchery is already halfway done for Jaedong, and the Spire's about similar timing. So how can Hero actually catch up?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. And it's true that there is like a bit of lead when it comes to lair, but I don't think it's like big enough to really like sneak a Scourge and kill Mutary. So honestly, I think I probably need a mistake from Jaedong at this point.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Like, I see the gas difference here being 100 gas, and Zerg versus Zerg can really come down to one player just simply having one more Muta. Surprisingly, we don't see either side building more Lings, even though they don't really have that much intel onto whether either player is building mass Lings. We do have Hero building his hatchery at the natural. We can see that the hatch is complete in the main of Jaedong, but the hatchery is not that far behind at the natural for Hero.
Yeah, I see that they don't make it more sellings, but honestly, it makes sense because Hero opens the 9 pool. So there is not really an amount of sellings that can kill Jaedong Arc, to be honest.
Well, look at this. This could be an issue because Jaedong can instantly build 5 Mutas all at once, whereas Hero, I think he's built 2 or 3 Mutas right now. So there is going to be a big air discrepancy, at least for the next few seconds or so. Right now, Jaedong has not let on about anything. I guess Hero can probably expect that it is just pure Muta since he doesn't see any more Lings. He doesn't see speed kicking in.
By the way, you asked me a way to come back for Hero. If Jaedong actually takes too much time attacking Hero, then there is actually a way to come back. But now he's scouting this base, he knows what's up. He knows he actually needs to be aggressive, and here we go.
Yeah, I know it takes about 25 seconds to mine 100 additional gas. So that means Jaedong has about, maybe 10 seconds or so before actually Hero is going to be the one with the gas advantage. Now, of course, Hero is not mining on minerals as effectively because of this, so we'll see if that will be a factor, if maybe Lings will be the difference maker. But we do have, 7 Mutas 2 Scourge versus 7 Mutas and 2 Scourge. So it all comes down to the first engagement, and Mutas got off the first shot for Jaedong. More Scourge coming in. Can any of the Scourge connect? So far, none of Heroes have connected.
I think Jaedong eats some Scourge, actually.
He may have, but look at this micro. It's so good. How many Mutas are left over for Hero? I don't think... Oh, he does. He actually has more, and they're less damage, and actually... Wow, I actually thought Jaedong had the advantage with the first hit, but not the case. He's now down 5 Mutas, and you can see the reaction in his face. He knows that it's over, man. GG.
Welcome to CBC, man.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure that Jaedong had a Muta lead, but I honestly would like to see a replay. I think he eats some Scourge.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those games where you got to see the replay, because he did have the first shot with the Mutas, for sure. We know that landed. The question is how many Scourge connected. I thought as soon as the first connection happened that it was going to scale in his favor, but not the case.
By the way, this guy, Hero, is rock solid in CBC. I mentioned it before. I'm going to mention it again. This guy is no joke. Like, I just saw this guy coming back from a deficit, a below that was not ideal, and he made that into a victory. So, wow. This isn't going to be easy for Jaedong at all.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not going to be easy, and we are going to get a look at that replay. It is 7 Mutas versus 7 Mutas, plus the 2 Scourge for both sides. Let's see, did anybody connect Scourge? Okay, there it was right there. We did see a connection. And actually, I think Hero just got off a couple more pot shots. You can see the micro was fantastic here. It's actually 7 versus 6, but these Scourge must have connected. He did lose one right there. And these turnaround shots that are shooting the Scourge aren't shooting the Mutas. He loses another one right there. And now it just snowballs heavily in the favor of Hero. 5-4 turns into 5-3. And that's all it takes in EVZ.
That was a great Scourge distribution, to be honest. The connections, wow, really nice by Hero.
Yeah, really well done. And I don't want to jinx it here. I'm not saying Hero's going to win the series, but I do agree with you with Hero saying Hero is rock solid in ZVZ. Actually, Hero's my favorite Zerg right now. I really like how he plays all the matchups, but I'm a massive Jaedong fan. We're going into a break, and we're going to be getting into Dark Origin as our second set. So we'll see you in a couple minutes. We are back and we're going into game 2 momentarily. Our next map is going to be Dark Origin, and already Hero looking very strong, coming back from a build order deficit to take the first map in our series.
Indeed, that was so good to see like that. The crisis management was so good actually, and I mean that micro also looked impeccable. Like he was like dealing with every scourge. Is that Elki?
Yeah, I was about to say, do you know who that is, Eonzerg? That is Elki, the legend.
There's no way, right? Is that him?
That is him, man. He lives in Korea. Oh, well, now you gotta be positive it's him. Of course, as soon as you see the glasses.
It's him.
Yeah, it is him. And he is a Jaedong fan. That's what his sign said.
Oh, shit. That is great. Actually, it's the first time I saw him without glasses, I think.
Yeah, that is true. If you Google any Elki photo, it's gonna be him in glasses. Even if he's playing at a LAN, even if he's playing at a PC bong, he's gonna be wearing those glasses, man. I wish we had it unmuted just to hear the caster reactions to that, because I'm sure they're shocked to see him.
Isn't Elki the only guy? No, he didn't. Did he actually win the OSL? It was a Gear, I think. Gear.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive that the only foreigner to ever win a Star League is Gur, but I think Elki did go pretty far, like 3rd or 4th place. But yeah, I think Gur is actually the only one to end up getting a title.
Man, that is great. I didn't expect to see Elki in the crowd, to be honest. That was the less expecting thing ever.
Yeah, you know,
that is cool.
There are quite a few well-known StarCraft players that still live in Korea, like Elki, for example. I'm not sure about Rekrul, but I know he lived there for a while. There's
I didn't know Elki lived in Korea, to be honest. I thought he left Korea a long time ago.
Well, maybe I'm wrong then, but I do know that, for example, you know, actually when I was in Korea, I was getting on the train one day, and there was this guy in front of me. I'm like, that looks like Genro. That looks like Frozen Arbiter. So I walked up to him. I'm like, are you Genro? And it was him. Like, just randomly on getting on the train, I spotted him, and he ended up actually living like 5 minutes from where I was staying. I couldn't believe it.
Okay. It's very strange. When I was in Korea, by the way, it happened to me all the time that I was walking on the street. I was the only foreigner, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. If you live in certain areas, you're gonna 100% be the only foreigner. I think if you move to areas like Hongdae or Itaewon, then you'll definitely be surrounded by other foreigners. But I completely know what you're talking about. Anyways, our second game is on the menu. Let's get into game 2. It's Hero versus Jaedong on Dark Origin. Okay, in the bottom right, our Eonzerg, it is Jaedong. And in the top left, up 1-0 in the series, looking phenomenal, it is Hero.
By the way, it's a 2-players map, so scout is not really super important here. They are going to scout each other. It doesn't really matter too much. But below there is important. Who is going to risk going a 12 hash? Who is going to risk going a 9 pool? Who can risk like going a 9 hatchery proxy like Shine did? I mean, there are many options.
Well, we've got the answer to who's going to risk the 9 pool. It is again going to be Hero, and I don't hate it. I actually really like this. He just came back from a big deficit with the overgas. Why not go for the 9 pool again? If this guy opens up with a 12 hatch, you're probably just going to outright win, so I love it.
Yeah, but Nyoken, I see that was not a 9 pool.
8 pool. That is true. I guess I missed that slightly. Now, have you played 8 pool? Like, I don't think I've ever seen an 8 pool. I've seen 9 and 7 pool.
No, Nyoken, this is a 12 hash. This is a disaster already for Jaedong. Like even like nine pool is super like auto win. Like what the hell was that? Seven pool or 8 pool? What the hell?
Yeah, I have to say I've never seen this pool timing, and as you stated, it's already hard enough to stop a 9 pool. 8 pool, you know, sure, it's not, you know, ridiculously fast like a 5 pool or
What
something.
bill is this? He's binding with 3 drones. I've never seen this.
Is he even gonna have enough money to build additional lings? Well, the answer is yes. Oh, let's see how this lines up. Okay, there's speed, but look, he can't even afford more lings. Look at that. He spends all his money on the speed, and he can't even build more lings. It's just 6. Now he finally can build some more.
Yeah, and that overlay is not going to scout the Zerlings.
Oh, that could be the timing, is not allowing the lings to get spotted.
Oh my god. I mean, what a crazy build already. I think Jaedong is super dead, to be honest. I don't know what to say. Like, how do you hold this?
I think he's dead also, but at the same time, we don't see Zerg reinforcing across the map, and he's not even engaging the hatchery. Like, if he continues to sit here and wait, I realize he's still up
No way.
a lot of lings.
No way.
But he's giving time to Jaedong. Like, Jaedong, if he can get out 8 lings, it would still be 8 versus 12, but comboed with drones, I could see him winning a fight, but at the same time, Hero's speed is about to kick in. Oh, he has no idea. He thinks that this was all that. He's going to be so shocked when he sees more lings just arrive out of nowhere. And speed.
And speed.
But he's at least on the ramp. Like, he's not outright dead here. And he's got a lot of workers. Oh, now he drills. That was a phenomenal angle. Look at that. There's 6 left over.
Oh.
The lings were bugging out for Jaedong, but he does catch another ling. Then there are a lot of drones left over, and like you said, Heroes has like no money, man. Like, he has so few drones. Oh no, but he's found the great angle there, takes out a drone and kills a bunch of lings.
I'm so confused right now because there are 2 hatcheries, there are more Zerlings popping, but yeah, I feel like Jaedong is going to lose this hatchery.
Yeah, it's gotta be dead. But in Jaedong's main, I'm curious, like, does he have Lair started, or what's actually going on? Because we haven't actually gotten a glimpse into his main just yet.
Does Jaedong knows
no.
what is in Hero's base?
I don't think he knows at all. I think he was just completely caught off guard by this. Now, even though Hero has so few drones, it doesn't matter at this point. He's killed so much stuff, and he's pulled so many drones off the mineral line. Oh man, that's not the engagement you want as a Jaedong fan. He now lets in 4 lings. Okay, actually the 4 lings are going to turn around, but I don't think it really okay, maybe it does matter. There's only 5 drones total for Hero.
He's only making an expansion.
I know. He has 5 drones mining minerals, 0 on gas. He's taking his natural. He's so broke, can he even afford to use the larva at both bases?
Oh my god. But now he's containing Jaedong. Jaedong probably going to Lair, I guess?
Yeah, I think he's now going to, like, well, I don't know. Yeah, he is going to Lair. He actually has a way bigger drone count. But the problem is that natural's going to get up and running. It's going to have a lot more larvae available to Hero in the next few minutes or so.
By the way, I have to say, the initial attack from Hero was terrible. It was a total disaster. I even thought like Jaedong will hold this.
I also thought Jaedong was going to hold it. And then when the drones came down, I thought, okay, well, he's done it. But then those drones got jacked up on the drones, and they didn't have the good engagement that I thought they were going to have. And now Hero's actually up in supply. His lair is obviously way farther behind than Jaedong's because he flat out wasn't mining gas. But he's probably just going to go into spores.
Yeah, he will need to have he will need to make spores at some point. But Jaedong, for some reason, is putting more Zerlings, and I don't really know if I agree with this. Like, instead of making some extra drones, you know, and a possible second hash, improving that area of macro at least.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get the damage he's looking for with those mutas. And look at that. That is amazing. Saves the one single Ling. And he is buying so much time with just 7 Lings. Like, that's it.
That is a guy with too much time in his hands, Nyoken.
He has practiced this way too many times. Finally, Jaedong's going to get down. And he does have a lot of Lings left over. But
Hero... But there are 2 hatcheries.
Yeah, there's 2 hatches and Hero traded so well. However, that is a drone cycle. And I've seen this unfold so many times where somebody builds way too many drones and they just die to a counterattack. This could be Jaedong's moment.
It's too close, maybe not.
I think Jaedong has advantage here, and that's clearly the arc advantage in his favor. Drones get pulled off. Okay, actually, Hero just barely has enough, and we do have
the there first... are more Zerglings are coming.
Yeah, there are more Zerglings. It's 5 versus actually 6. There we go, 8 now. He does kill a drone, but I don't think that's enough to overcome the eco difference. We do have Spire just now starting for Hero, and he does have Spores coming up also.
This is the problem for Jaedong. Spire already started. There is an expansion for Hero that is mining, and Jaedong still doesn't have a second hatchery. He invested a lot of resources on Zerglings, and he doesn't have an expansion for himself.
Yeah, and I didn't really see very many good angles for the mutas to attack. I think the top side of the mineral line at the natural is an open spot to pick up some drones. I think near the gas in the main has an open spot. But other than that, you know, really not great angles to attack from. And this one Ling is keeping back 5 mutas.
Not only that, I don't think he can even counterattack. Well, he can now, but because he saw the Zerglings in the main. But if Hero actually keeps the Zerglings in the map, he can even counterattack.
Yeah, that's true. He would get instantly hit whenever those Lings are out of position. And Jaedong's on a timer now because supplies are pretty close to even, and that's with 10 supply in the air in favor of Jaedong. That drone... Nice. Oh, he does not get taken down. Okay. He gets 3 drones. That was definitely worth.
Indeed. My spy is ready, Nyoken. He can make now Mutas and Scourge. And I think Jaedong is on TikTok.
Yeah, he's in trouble. I do notice that Hero doesn't have as much gap. Okay, well, do you like that movie, Eonzerg? He has map control with the mutas, but he still opts to build a hatchery in his main.
I don't understand that move, to be honest. Why making your hatchery in the main? Why?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, there is a Ling from Hero getting across the map, and he will see that there's nothing at the natural. So maybe he'll think, like, okay, Jaedong doesn't have that many drones, so he can't afford very much. So, you know, maybe this could catch him off guard with a mass Ling Mutaflood. But yeah, this is strange to not take your natural.
I think Jaedong doesn't know that Hero already has an Inspire. It has to be the only answer, to be honest, because like even if we make now this expansion, like Hero can already make mutas, man.
Yeah, and Jaedong, to afford these 3 hatches, actually pulled off of gas for a while, and even though he has air advantage right now, I think 6 versus 4 or 5, that's not going to last very long with Hero mining his natural. And we do have more drones.
Oh, nice. 1 kill, 2 kills.
Yeah, but look at the supply. It's still in favor of Hero. He doesn't have that many drones actually mining minerals, though. There's actually none at the natural mining minerals.
Yeah, they are on the gas, Nyoken. Hero needs more drones, and Jaedong so far he has like a good eco, but he's missing that second gas.
Well, the Ling does get in here, and he will know that, hey, this guy has 3 hatcheries. And actually, I think the onus is going to be on Hero to get something done pretty soon, because Jaedong's going to explode in production in a second. And here we go.
And here we go, indeed. With mass Scourge, he can even like kill these Overlords.
Oh yeah, that one's going to be super dead. And that will supply block Jaedong. That's a big block at a moment where he needs all the units he can possibly get.
Can Jaedong defend this, man? Oh, nice micro.
Yeah, but there's so many Scourge mixed in. Can he avoid all the Scourge while also dealing with the Mutas? That's 7 left over versus 7. Hero has slightly more health. Meanwhile, those 5-lings are going to take down the hatchery. Oh, wow. Those 2 Scourge connected near the end, and it was also health advantage on the Mutas for Hero, so it ends up backfiring for Jaedong, spending so much minerals on the 3 hatcheries, and he ends up falling in game 2.
Okay, first of all, that was an insane build-order win for Hero. He almost threw that game with the first attack. So Hero, like in the first game, I thought like he was on top of his game. This game actually make me doubt exactly how on top of his game he is. And second, Jaedong, props to him for surviving that long.
Yeah, it was incredible that he actually survived that long. Like, as you stated, this was a massive build order advantage for Hero. Like, as soon as you saw the pool go down and then see the hatch go down, well, it's basically lights out. And we're getting a look at this Overlord and Ling timing. Like, that was actually perfectly planned out there to avoid the Overlord. But it almost cost him, because even though this was a sneaky move, the hatch is completed now. Like, now there's 8 Lings available for Jaedong. And like you stated, the first engagement was really good for Jaedong. It was just the second attack that did him in. Right here, he trades so effectively. He loses like 2 Lings for like 4 or something crazy, and then he pulls these drones. Now this is where it all goes wrong. Watch these Lings get clumped up on the drones right here. Look at that. Just so much damage done by these few Lings from Hero.
It's actually unreal how good he actually made it in the ramp, and then how actually bad it went when he go down the ramp.
Yeah, also speed kicked in for Hero, and it just allowed him to reposition much easier. And also with the gas being at the bottom side, you saw the drones drill down. They got caught up on the Lings.
No, Nyoken, the speed was ready when Hero made the first attack.
Yeah, the speed was really, really fast. But that means that we're actually on match point for Hero. We're going to be going into, I think, the Hot 6 commercial before we get into Game 3, which is going to be on Heartbreak Ridge.
I mean, that game, to be honest, if I was Jaedong, I will not really be super disappointed about it. But yeah, like now he's down 0-2. It's not the first time he's in this situation. I think he does well under this circumstance, but I mean, now it's CBC. Build order is so important. What do you think like he can do to come back?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. If you're in this situation as Jaedong, can you afford to go for a 12 hatch anymore? Because, you know, this is your last life. If you run into a 9 pool or an 8 pool again, you're dead. So I actually think this puts Jaedong in a really precarious situation. I think I would like to see him go into that overgas build. I think that's a solid build, and it will counter early pools. And I think it's unlikely that Hero's going to go for a 12 hatch because of what I said. I think that he would feel that it's unlikely that Jaedong's going to go for a 12 hatch, which means Jaedong's probably going to go for an early pool. And I think overgas plays well into early pool builds. So that's what I want to see.
And by the way, I just thinking now, Hero is like he needs 1 game to win. Like, to be realistic, like now he can actually like think, okay, I can even like go greedy and make a 12 hash for myself, or even like go crazy and go a 9 pool again, because I can take the victory, and maybe Jaedong can use that and get a victory for himself.
Yeah, maybe he'll sniff out a 12 hatch and get the build order counter to that. I don't know. This is just such a hard scenario. And also, well, I was gonna say, we do have a 2-player map. Does that affect your build order choice? But you know, clearly last game it didn't really affect his choice for like a hatch first, because he still ended up going for it. You know, when I see ZVZ expect hatch first to be on maps that are like 4-player, like Vermeer, not necessarily a 2-player map.
Do we know the next map?
Heartbreak Ridge.
Oh, okay. Oh man, this is a map where people love to do 9-pool actually.
Oh really? Like it's quite a far rush distance, isn't it? Like you got to go vertical out of your main, then you've got, you know, not necessarily the fastest path to the main. You still think we're going to see a 9-pool? Oh well, actually, we're going into a break. We'll be back in a moment.
Yeah.
All right, we are back. We're about to get into Game 3 in just a moment. It is going to be Hero versus Jaedong on Heartbreak Ridge. But before we get into that, of course, I think we've got our Ask ASL or ASL promotion. We were talking about build orders in the before we went into the break. You were saying how 9-pool's strong on Heartbreak Ridge, and you think we're going to see that again?
Well, let me explain that myself again, because honestly, HBR is such an old map. At least back then, when it used to be popular, people love to do 9-pool. To be honest, you know, many maps are now outdated, and especially with the minerals, there is boosting and all of that, the mechanics. So I honestly don't really know if it is super popular like it was back then, but that was the build order. That was 9-pool. You could see so many tricks, like, you know, Heartbreak has like this passage on top that you can sneak Zerlings and then do a very strong timing, like Hero did in the last game, pretty much. And then there is people that also love to play 12 pool as well. That's the most common two bill orders, honestly, back then.
All right, well, I think it is highly likely that we do see another 9 pool, especially since these early pool builds have gotten victories for Hero. If I was him, I would for sure go for it again, because why change build orders that are working? Like, there's no need to try and change it. But at the same time, maybe he feels like now's the time to go for like an early hatch. We saw a lot of Jaedong fans in that poll. It was 61% in his favor. Unfortunately, though, he is down 2-0. So you Jaedong fans out there, you got to send energy his way, because he's on the brink of elimination. It is match point for Hero.
Well, to be fair with Hero, the first game he did a 9 pull, and the second game it was what, 7 pull or 8 pull? I don't know what exactly it was. So a small change.
Yeah, such an interesting pool timing. Because of how that Overlord just barely avoided the Lings, I feel like that had to have been a Dark Origin specific timing. I would be shocked if we saw it again on any other map. We are moments.
I didn't check the time is Nyoken, but I think what Hero was trying to do is to fake an overgas opening, maybe.
Yeah, I think so too. How he was only sending a few Lings from the natural. Like, I would like to get a replay of Jaedong's face at that moment when he saw 12 Lings, because for sure it looked like it was like an overpool or a 12 pool or something. But we are ready for game 3. It's Heartbreak Ridge between Jaedong and Hero. Okay, in the mid left, it is Jaedong. And in the mid right, one game away from making it into another round of 4, it is Hero.
So back then, when you get this spawn that Jaedong has, you will say he has the advantage because he can put the larvas to the left side. But now with this speed boosting mechanics and all of that, I don't really know what spawn is really the one with advantage.
Yeah, I don't know either, and I do know that there is some type of mineral boosting on the left side, at least for Terran, so I'm sure Zergs have figured out something to boost on the left side also, but yeah, that is something to think about. We can see that the minerals are basically even for both sides. In fact, Jaedong slightly ahead with that return of cargo right there. And we do have an early pool, Eonzerg, so this is going to be Jaedong being the one with the 9 pool.
Yeah, I'm glad he's doing this, because if you look at the Jaedong match history in CBC, one of his strongest builds is actually 9 pool.
Yep, so he wants to be aggressive just like he was on Sylphid, a little bit of a different opener, but Hero, we are going to have the 12 hatch, man, unless there's one more drone that comes out and he builds a pool, which he did! I can't believe it!
Yeah, I told you that on Heartbreak, back then the most common build used to be 12 pool and 9 pool, but don't be discouraged, because 9 pool still can be super strong in the early game. Like, micro is going to be crucial already for Hero. He really need to micro his heart now to not die.
Yeah, and we did see Jaedong have quite a few favorable engagements with the Lings in previous games. There were moments that he just traded so effectively, so that could come into play here. We do have the hatchery going down at the natural for Hero. Now, unlike in the Sylphid game, where Hero went for a 9 pool with gas and then went lair, Jaedong's actually going speed here, so he's intending to get some damage done with these Lings. And just like on Dark Origin, he's going to avoid the Overlord.
He's missing the Serenits?
Oh, he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. Okay, the Overlord redirected back into the main.
Oh, but you know what? Jaedong might lair first. I'm mistaken?
No, he went speed.
He went speed? Okay.
Yep, he went speed. So this is going to be a big attack. Very similar to the game that we just saw. This looks like it's just 4 Lings, but we know that that is obviously not the case. However, the Overlord did spot there's no hatchery. And now Hero should be curious as to, dude, why do you have no hatch if you only have 6 lings? Like, we have the same amount of lings.
A lot of certain Nyoken hero need drones if you want to hold this.
Yeah, he's in trouble. He's down a considerable amount of lings. In fact, it looks like he's already sacked his natural. He knows he can't hold it, and he knows there are actually more lings.
Did he actually drone up?
I don't think he droned. Well, he may have built one drone, but I think, yeah, he knew that this was hidden lings, and this hatchery is going to die so fast. Goodbye.
But this is a big deal. Because he loses the hatchery, and Jaedong still has better layer timing.
Yep. Oh, well, that was a good trade there. And, well, is that an Overlord? What is that? Is that actually going to complete? Spire timing is identical. And the one thing that...
What happened here? Did Hero actually make lair first?
Yeah, Hero went lair first, and he skipped speed. So he's actually got gas advantage. So he is just going to permanently be ahead either 4 Scourge or 1 Muta in the incoming Muta fight that we're going to see in the next couple minutes.
Man, Hero really knows his reloaders because, like, usually when you lose a hatchery like that, you're already behind, but somehow he's making this, like, looks even. Or even, like, ahead.
Yeah, I actually think Hero might be ahead here. He definitely has more drones. And even though he may not have as many lanes, he's got the better angle. And that's all that matters in ZVZ. Look at this. There's only 7 drones mining minerals for Jaedong, whereas I saw Hero had at least 9. So he can even build a hatch and still be up in workers.
We are going to be eating nails in this game because it's going to be all about micro.
Yep, and so far, once we've gotten into an air battle, Hero has won the air battle. So I am a little bit worried in that sense, especially since he's already up 100 gas. Now that's a good counterattack. Even though he doesn't take out a drone, he does force a few off the line, and it drew the lings out of position. And actually, this is a better angle for Jaedong. Does the drone have enough damage? No, it does not. And that means that Jaedong's going to trade favorably here.
Yeah, but mutes are out now, so he should be okay, I guess.
Oh, but look at that Eonzerg. It actually ruined his mining, and he now has 4 on gas. So even though it's still a drone advantage slightly for Hero, one of them has been negated.
Yeah, but suspension for Hero as well. And look at this, Serling denying that suspension for Jaedong.
Yep, and I think we have 4 mutas for both sides. Okay, actually 5 for Jaedong. Now this is where, well, look at that drone, still 4 on gas. This is where Zerg versus Zerg always gets interesting. If anybody's ever out of position, Muta counterattacking the main can kill a ton of drones. And I feel like Jaedong has to do something like that because there's just a big advantage in drones right now for Hero.
By the way, Nyoken, there are some maps that actually like putting 4 drones like this on gas improve mining. I don't know if this is one of them, but yeah, just like a little detail. Okay,
well, it seems that Hero has taken off that 4th one, but yeah, I agree, there are maps like that. Instead, he's opted to mine a bit more efficiently on the minerals, and we do have 7 mutas, 2 Scourge. Hatch and gas are pretty much done for Hero at his natural. Meanwhile, Jaedong's natural is about to come up in just a second. We've again got that 3 drone transfer to mine that gas ASAP for Hero.
That's... Jaedong has going on for him are 3 Serlings. He can attack the main and put the 3 Serlings to attack the natural.
Okay, well, we'll see if he will attack. And we do... Also, what I do like about Jaedong's build this time is he's opted into pure mutas. He's not going into Scourge at all. So if he picks off a few Scourge, like while he does that back shot, he may overrun Hero here, but that's a lot of Scourge.
He's so close to Nyoken, he's going for it.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for it. And this is how many mutas? What's that? 9 versus, I think, 11? But there's Scourge advantage. Oh, got off the first shot again. The Scourge connected. So for the first time, that was definitely in favor of Jaedong. The Lings get in, but do not get any drone kills.
Oh. Jaedong punishing now, right now.
Oh.
Jaedong.
2 more Scourge connected, but there's so many Scourge for Hero. Can he avoid all of these? The control is fantastic, but the moving shot from Hero also fantastic. Oh, Hero's taken way too much damage. Oh, no, he didn't. Wow, all those Scourge connected, and there's only 4 mutas left?
Okay, what happened there? Like, Hero just micro got, and... But honestly, I thought Jaedong was, like winning the fight.
I also thought Jaedong was winning that fight, but clearly he was not, and now he is way behind in terms of muta count. It's like 5 for him, whereas it's upwards of 8 or so for Hero. And if you are a Hero fan, you could possibly be moments away from sealing the victory. This is just such an overwhelming lead for Hero now. He's got drone advantage, he's got air advantage. You know, maybe if Jaedong has +1 armor coming, that could be an advantage for him, but I don't think he has the gas for that.
I don't think there is any upgrade for any of the players Nyoken. But there's some drones for Jaedong here. He's on a really like not better eco, but I don't know exactly how to call it, but oh man, Jaedong, bro, Jaedong is so behind.
Yeah, I think all he can really do now is pray that he has like 20 Scourge and, you know, half of them get connections onto all of the mutas, because right now there's no way he's going to win a battle building pure mutas. Like that's just not going to happen. Like look at that, he got the first shot off on the Scourge and he could barely take it out quickly. And Hero now knows that he's got a massive lead. He picks off the Overlord. That supply blocks Jaedong. This is going to be it, Eonzerg. Oh no.
I think, Nyoken, we are about to see the end of this game, because Hero with these numbers, Jaedong can hold this.
Yeah, it's just way too many mutas. Also, supply block is really punishing here. There's so many Scourge left over too, and that's gonna be it, unless there's some type of miracle. There was! What happened? How did Jaedong end up holding it? He was down so many mutas. Oh, wait, supplies plummet. How? How did that happen? What just happened, Eonzerg?
There is even a Zerling in the main doing damage.
What? And the mutas, you know, they are Zerg, so their health will regen. And I think after that trade, Hero's going to be cautious to go for another engagement. So that means that these 4 mutas that are left over for Jaedong are going to regen to a considerable health. And look at supply. Jaedong actually has supply lead for the first time all game.
I think Nyoken, Jaedong was doing like damage with a Zerling, because like if you look at Hero, he didn't have drones in the gas in the natural, but his gas is like very healthy. He's missing minerals.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. When I saw the supply shoot down so quickly, I thought for sure there must have been a Ling counterattack somewhere, but when we only saw one, I'm not sure how much damage he actually got done. But regardless, that was the hold of the tournament for sure right there. We know there's 7 mutas for Hero right now. I'm not sure what the actual muta count is for Jaedong. It's probably like 8 or 9, but we do have to consider that 4 of them are heavily damaged.
Yeah, Jaedong did some magic for sure. Like we were already calling it a GG, and the guy just like rises. I don't know how he did it, but you know what, Nyoken, this game is still very close.
Yeah, it is definitely very close. 42-40, anyone's game at this point. Both players do have 2 bases. I still like the drone count a little bit better for Hero. But, you know, if the drone count is higher and you're down in supply, that means that probably there's more mutas where you're going to have another huge engagement. The Scourge do get some connections off, but now Hero's the one with a lot of Scourge left over. Oh, Ling's in the main!
Zerlings.
Oh, he can't watch both. He's got to make a decision. Does he save his drones or does he save the mutas? The mutas are dealing a lot of damage. The Scourge are connecting. There's still so many Scourge left over, and that was the engagement that Hero was looking for. An overwhelming win there, and now Jaedong, we thought he was done a moment ago. That has to be the killing blow there. There's like 8 mutas left over for Hero.
Yeah, and there is a Scourge as well. I think that was on Saturday, that was the fight of the game.
Oh man, that is heartbreaking because the hold for Jaedong was absolutely amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a better muta hold right there. He almost did the impossible, but in the end, Hero just a little bit too good today.
Yeah. What an ending, to be honest. I almost believe for a second the guy made the comeback.
I was also a believer. And, if he had have won that game, you know how much momentum, how much confidence that would give you to win from a deficit like that? That would have been amazing. But, Hero didn't lose his cool, even though he didn't have the trade that he wanted. He knew that those mutas were heavily damaged. And even though he was at a muta scourge disadvantage in the final fight, just the bounce shots, I'm sure, did a lot of damage to those hurt mutas and probably took down a few of them.
Man, props to Hero, because if you remember how the game started, Jaedong actually got a free hatchery. And somehow Hero made that looks like, okay, the game's just even.
Yeah, we're getting a look at how this fight went. I didn't get a look at what the muta count was right there, but I think it's pretty close to even. But as I stated, a lot of them are, well, actually, they've regened a lot of health. What was that, 11 mutas versus 10? So actually, it's, I think, muta advantage for Jaedong right now. The Scourge must have connected better. And actually, the moving shot from Hero seemed to be a little bit better. Oh, yeah, that's where it all went downhill, is so many Scourge connected at the end. And it was just a huge, overwhelming victory right there for Hero.
Yeah, defensive advantage with the reinforcements of the Scourge was just too much.
Yeah, and if we
he did a good job with the Cernis, by the way, all game long. He did a good job with this Cernis counterattack, delaying mining from Hero. He did a lot of good things in that game, to be honest.
Yeah, he was really testing the multitask of Hero, and at the end, actually, Jaedong was up in workers. That was not something that I was expecting to see. So, nice attempt there. Amazing game 3. I'm glad that we ended on an epic one like that. If you're going to lose 3-0, you at least want to go out in style right there. But congratulations to Hero. He makes it into the round of 4 again, man. Like, every single season, it feels like he's a round of 4 player. Like, he always makes it there, at least.
Yeah, rock solid CBC guy. Destroyer of dreams.
Yeah, and I mean, you were saying it. This guy's ZVZ is on point. His Zerg versus Protoss is on point. And, potentially, he could have another Zerg versus Zerg in the semifinals. If Sulky beats JYJ, we could have another epic ZVZ. And also, it would be a revenge match for Hero, because last season, Sulky ended up taking down Hero.
Yeah, it's very possible. You mentioned JYJ is playing like the best Terran in the game right now. So we will see if Sulky actually can beat JYJ. And you know what? Hero versus Terran is not really like his strongest matchup. It is very known. So if he actually comes to Hero versus JYJ, it's going to be super interesting. And if it is against Sulky, it's going to be, like you mentioned, a revenge match.
Yeah, and even though Hero Zerg versus Terran is not his best matchup, even according to the ASL statistics, I think it was like 48%. I mean, it's still top notch. But JYJ been playing out of his mind. I'm looking really forward to that series, because Hero's like a big econ player in Zerg versus Terran. But JYJ, when he played versus Queen, like, he was just in Queen's face the entire game. He was busting at moments where I was not expecting him to bust, but he kept Queen on 3 bases. Like, he really kept the Zerg player in check. And, that's kind of the key to victory in Terran versus Zerg. Don't let Zerg get 4 bases, because if you do, you're in trouble. That's going to be an exciting series. And, of course, if we get Sulky, that will be a great series, too. But where do you think it went wrong today for Jaedong? Was it just build orders? Was it the muta control? We talked about how good his link control was, but what do you think was the demise for Jaedong?
I think losing the first game, I think, shut down his confidence. I believe. Like, he really needed that first game victory, in my opinion.
Yeah, winning the first game in a best of 5 or best of 3 is obviously a big confidence booster. And then also, like you were saying, the overgas, just a great build versus the 9 pool, and then you still lose. I think for sure that kind of hurt his confidence quite a bit. I think he had a great hold on, obviously, in the last game, but also that Dark Origin game. He almost came back there. But this guy right here, Just
Yeah,
an
but
absolute beast.
that origin game is like a perfect example. He actually made such a good hold in the ramp. He goes down with drones and serlings and loses everything. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, those drones and lings got caught up on each other. I think if he had drilled onto a mineral patch instead of the gas, that would have went way better than him. But that's something you think about after seeing the results. So a bit unfortunate, but at least he put on a good showing this ASL. I think it's the first time he's made it into the round of 8 in quite a long time. So I am happy to see that the Dong, he's back, man, and he's looking. Even though he lost 3-0 here, he was looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's been a good tournament for Jaedong because I think it's also known that Jaedong he's not really having great results either in Pro League or uh, just like sponsor games. Like I, if I'm not mistaken, at some point he was playing K League or like a minor league in in, in these streamers battles. Um, yeah, I think I see not many people expected Jaedong to make this far.
Even though I'm a big Jaedong fan, I do have to agree with that statement. In recent ASLs, I think his highest finish was like the top 12. Generally, he's, someone like a round of 24, round of 16 player, but it was nice to see him make it into the round of 8. And I wasn't aware that he was playing in K League. For those of you out there, there's 3 leagues. There's the top pro league, there's the K League, which is I think one step below, and then I think Scan was telling me that there's even one more league below that called like Moonlight League, something like that. But there are 3 leagues. So K League is kind of, I guess you could compare it to like maybe B teamers. So, um, yeah, I was not aware of that. But after this performance, I could see Jaedong shooting back up into the normal pro league.
No, no, I think he's already doing it. Like he's like, but at some point he was playing in the K League. Is what I mean.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so I think they don't have a good round. The problem is this guy Hero. I'm telling you, this guy. People get so mad at him because he destroyed dreams. He actually destroyed the dream finals over and over and over.
I know someone in the chat was mentioning that Hero took out Jaedong and Bisu, and I know you were a big Bisu fan in the earlier stages of the tournament. But like you said, this guy right here, he's ruining potential dream finals. We get a look at how today went. It was a 3-0 for Hero. There was signs of hope in the last game with that miraculous Meadow hold, but other than that, it was pretty much Hero all day long. Just perfect play on every single map.
Yeah, not the CBC series I was expecting, to be honest. But sometimes CBC can be like this. It's brutal. It's just like it's really chaotic. It's really who micro the best in the early game, who gets the best mind games, who gets the build order, and yeah. Sometimes you can get great games. Sometimes you get games like this. I'm really sorry for the viewers and for all the people rooting for Jaedong, man. But props to Hero because in a matchup that is so random, he actually makes it looks not so random.
Yeah, I was gonna say that in years past when I watched ZVZ, I would think to myself, "Oh, this guy's got build order win, so he's gonna win." But these days, I don't know what exactly has changed. Of course, more knowledge for the players, but they seem to be able to play out of disadvantages sometimes, like what we saw in the Sylphid game. Like he was able to just overcome that slight lead for Jaedong. And in game 3, Jaedong almost had the miraculous hold or a miraculous comeback with the Mutilus. We are getting a look at our final series, which is going to be tomorrow. As we said, it's JYJ versus Sulky, and those maps look pretty damn good to me. We've got solid maps: Vermeer, Heartbreak Ridge, Sylphid, Dark Origin, and then a new map, Retro, as our final game in that series.
Yeah, great maps indeed. This is going to be a good series as well. Um, this JYJ guy is making a real good round. If he make it to semis, it's going to be crazy.
Oh yeah, that would for sure be crazy. He would be one of the newest, SK Telecom Terran players to go really far in a tournament. He was on SK Telecom in the olden days, but I don't remember JYJ really making a name for himself back then. When you think of SK Telecom Terrans, you think of,
Isn't this the guy that played on Aztec against, I believe, Chine? And he got his whole army trapped in Chine's main, and Chine put 2 lurkers out and sniped the last vessel with 2 scores, and he lost the game that way?
Was that him? I can't remember, but I do remember a game like that. Yeah.
I think it's him, if I'm not mistaken.
I will have to go rewatch that game because I remember that game was very epic. But damn, Aztec, that feels like so long ago, man.
By the way, Nyoken, imagine best beat mine. Do you think minds prefer? No, do you think best prefer Sulky or JYJ?
Everybody knows that Best is really good versus Terran, but in ASL, Best's highest win rate is versus Zerg. So I'm going to go with, I think, a shocker here. I think Best wants to play versus Sulky, simply because, according to the stats, that's his best matchup. And think about the games he played versus Action. Even though I think Action had leads in those games, the Maelstroms were crazy, and he still ended up getting a victory. So I think I would, if I was Best, I would prefer to play versus Sulky.
And he already beat him on the tournament.
Yeah, so I think that's what Best wants. Of course, I don't think he necessarily cares if JYJ makes it out because his versus Terran is amazing. But if he was to pick one, I think Sulky is probably his pick. But I do know that Sulky plays different from other Zergs. Like he plays low econ openers sometimes. So that could be a bit dangerous for Best.
So let's say, actually, let's play the same game. Mine make it to the finals. Do you think he prefers JYJ or Sulky?
I think he wants Sulky. I think Terran versus Zerg is most Terran's best matchup. And he looked impressive. He's already taken down good Zerg players. So I think he wants Terran versus Zerg.
Actually, I differ from you in that one. I think he will prefer JYJ.
JYJ, you think so?
Yeah, because Sulky is a monster in CBT.
Okay. That is true. Sulky is not only great at ZVT, he's also good at mind games. And, that always makes him a dangerous player. JYJ does seem to play pretty standard in Terran versus Terran. So, if you can get a standard game, maybe that is favorable for you. Because when we've seen mine, he hasn't done anything crazy, really. He hasn't 5 racks. He hasn't, gone mech or 1-1-1 or anything really crazy. So maybe that is the better matchup for him, where he could just get standard versus standard.
No, if you remember the poor mine, when he tries some crazy build, he gets shut down instantly. So that's the reason he probably doesn't try that very often.
Yeah, that is true. He, with the BBS, instantly lost, and then the other aggressive opener also instantly lost. But regardless, our top semifinals is going to be great, and now with Hero in the bottom side, regardless of who comes out of it, we know that that's going to be an exciting matchup. JYJ playing so good versus Zerg, and then also Sulky playing quite well versus Zerg, and also with the revenge potential for Hero, or also, the potential for Sulky to say, hey man, this was not a fluke. Last season I won. This season I'm going to win again versus you, Hero. And then Sulky would make it into the finals, I think for the first time ever in the ASL. I would have to check that, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate.
I mean, if I beat Jaedong 3-0 and then lose to Sulky, I'm going to be depressed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like beating Flash and then losing to, I don't know, Barracks.
Okay. Everybody hates on Sulky's ZVC, man, but he's done well in Africa, in ASL. I don't see it. I mean, maybe there's different results in Pro League, but I don't know. I think it'll be close regardless.
It's going to be great. Man, I feel sorry for Jaedong. Imagine just like a mad. It's not possible anymore. But I was imagining a magic run to the finals, to be honest.
Oh, that would have been amazing. Team Lick would have been going ballistic. Korean fans would have been going ballistic. You were talking to me off stream before we turned it on, and you were saying, imagine if Jaedong wins, he's going to be standing doing autographs for 3 hours, and that's probably an accurate statement because everybody loves Jaedong. Even Elke in the stands here, a Jaedong fan, and I haven't seen Elke in any of these ASL casts. I haven't seen him shown up in any of events. So clearly, Jaedong is a fan favorite across the world, but unfortunately.
By the way, Nyoken, did we break a record here that is the fastest series ever to finish?
It feels like it because we started about an hour and a half ago, and we actually finished about 15 minutes ago. Just the casters not allowing it to break.
I'm pretty sure one of the commercials was longer than a game.
Yeah, I remember somebody in the chat was mentioning that like the Hot 6 commercial was actually longer than the actual game. Like the first one ended so fast. The second one, and second and third one got a little bit momentum, but the first one was over in like 5 minutes. It was like the first engagement with the mutas, and then it just ended.
Man, I was thinking about these maps. I remember there was a time we have maps like Ungoro Crater or Katrina or all these crazy maps. It's crazy how the maps evolution is these days.
Yeah, and I remember seeing in Discord that people are remaking some of the older maps, and that would be cool to see some remade older maps because I would love to see current meta played on old maps and see what they can come up with. Does the old meta stand up to the current skill level, or will there be changes? Regardless, we are done today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with our final round of 8. It is going to be JYJ versus Sulky.
Bye-bye.